name is David Dylan Thomas, and I am the writer and director of White Meat Appetizer. And basically, underneath Washington Square Park in Philly are buried the bodies of hundreds of enslaved people. This is actually true. What if one night they all came back from the dead as zombies, but they only ate white people? So we just screened our short, actually. It was one of the first blocks here, and I just learned we won the Filmmakers Award for Best Horror Short and the Filmmakers Award for Best Writing, which I wrote it, so I'm super proud. But yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Oh my God. Double congratulations. That's
Thank you.
incredible. That's amazing. What a great concept. I guess I was going to ask what inspired you to create this film. I have a guess, but I'm going to let you say
sure.
that.
So, like I said, it's a true story. When I first moved to Philly with my wife in 2004, we learned about Washington Square Park. And yes, there are, in fact, hundreds of enslaved people buried there, as well as Revolutionary War soldiers. It was a potter's grave. So me with my horror brain, my immediate thought was, well, if they came back from the dead as zombies, who would they go after? And so it just kind of boiled on from there.
Yeah. So, inspired from true events, from living in or near the haunted park or learning about that, what did you learn kind of diving deeper into the history and the story of it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, basically, when the movie Get Out came out, me, like hundreds of other screenwriters, were inspired to really go for it with making a horror movie really mean something. And so I spent 2 years researching the history of Philly, black history in general, horror movies. I became a horror fan by watching all these movies. But I learned that there's a rich abolitionist history in Philadelphia, but there's also a rich history of racism and slavery, even in a northern city like Philadelphia. So George Washington used to live there, and he kept human beings enslaved at his residence, which is history that recently the government tried to take away, and there's still fighting over that. But that's a lot of the inspiration for making the movie, is to keep that history alive.
Yeah, which you can do in a both effective and, like, not to say fun subject, but like in an entertaining way to keep it going. So, diving into the history of it, you said it took you 2 years to write this, and you became a horror fan. So that's an interesting sentence. So not a horror fan before this moment.
I tolerated horror, and I saw all the classics like The Exorcist and The Shining, but they scared me, and so I didn't watch them so much. But as I watched more and more horror films, especially zombie movies and black horror, I fell in love with it, and now it's like my favorite genre. It used to be action. It's kind of horror now. Like, I literally, in my hotel room, watched Dario Argento's Inferno. Like, that's a deep cut.
Yeah, that is.
And I had a great time,
Nice. So more horror in your future then? Going to dive more into these are you thinking similar stories, or?
Yeah, so I like to make movies in all sorts of genres. I'm definitely going to keep watching horror movies, and we want to turn White Meat into a feature, so I'm going to be spending a lot more time with these zombies. But I have plans for survival horror, for action, for comedy. Like, I like to make lots of kinds of things, but I will definitely be continuing to do horror in the future.
Great. So something you learned about yourself making this, so you do actually enjoy horror. Did you learn anything else about yourself or filmmaking?
I love history. Like, making this movie has been a lens into black history and into just how important it is to remember history, especially at a time like now, but really at any time, because you learn how much more interesting we are when you find out how much variety there is in the past and all the accomplishments, as well as all the terrible things we've done. I don't know. I love learning about history now in a way that I kind of wish I had been when I had to learn about history.
Yeah.
Like in high school and college, it's like, oh my God. Now I'm like, I want to take the class again.
Yeah. And what a beautiful way to combine two different passions of yours.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. All right. So it's obviously at Film Invasion Los Angeles, which congratulations again on your very well-deserved awards. Where else can people connect with your film? Do you have more festivals coming up, social media? Where can they find it?
Oh, thanks. So I'll be coming back to LA for Long Beach Comic-Con. We're showing there.
Nice.
And if you come out to Philly, we'll be at the Philadelphia Underground Film Festival. But the easiest way to keep up with all that is to go to whitemeatmovie.com. You can find our Instagram, you can find our merch, you can find our podcast. It's one-stop shopping.
Amazing. And also a Philadelphia filmmaker.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. There's some really good horror that comes out of Pennsylvania as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Philly has this amazing underground, mostly directed by black women, I will note. Amazing horror scene, as well as a great underground indie scene. So come on out to Philly, check out some amazing movies.
All right, guys, you heard it here. Go to Philadelphia, make some movies, and find White Meat Horror Movie and follow their journey. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.